Hello everyone. Our lesson today is on reported speech and this is part 2. I have 4 questions for you. Question number 1. Do we use reported speech in our life? Of course, this is a simple question, straightforward, but still I would like to think. Number 2. Do we use reported speech in speaking or writing? Question 3. What are the common reporting verbs? When we report what someone said, so which verbs do we use? And number 4. What changes do we make in a sentence which we like to report? Of course, I explained a little bit about question number 4, but in this video I will give you more explanation and examples. So if you look at question number 1, do we use reported speech in our life? Yes, we do use it every day. We use it every day. People use this every day. Do we use reported speech in speaking or writing? We use reported speech in speaking and writing. So it is very useful in our life and useful for us to use the correct English. Question 3. What are the common reporting verbs? Now, when we report what someone said or we report what people said, we have to remember we are reporting the meaning. All the time, think about meaning. If you are going to report what someone said, think about the meaning all the time, because language is about meaning. So these are the verbs, of course, say and said. Why do I put say, which is present, and said, which is past? Because sometimes we hear something and we report it at the same time, but most of the time reporting happens after someone says something. So most of the time reporting happens after, and we use verbs in the past. So most of the time we use said, we use asked, we use inquired, we use told, we use suggested, we use wanted to know, etc. etc means etc. Of course, we can have more reporting verbs, but as I said, when we report, it is better to use verbs in the past, like he said, he told me, he asked, because reporting happens after someone says something. Some reporting verbs are academic: congratulate, argue, assert, insist, contradict, emphasizes, complains, announces, promises, recommends, etc. Of course, these are difficult verbs. They are for high level, level 2 or maybe level 3 and above. So don't worry about them, but we have to know we have some verbs, and these verbs are academic, which means university level, and we use them when we are going to report what a person said. Of course, you can say congratulate or congratulated, argue or argued, as I said about these verbs. So just to repeat, we have so many reporting verbs. When we are reporting something, we think about meaning. And number 3, it is better to use verbs in the past, because reporting happens after someone said something to us. Now this is the important part now. This is the most important part, about reported speech or direct speech. What changes do we make in reported speech? For example, I have a person, and this person is called Fatima. Fatima says, I will take my daughter on holiday today. Of course, before I use speech marks. After today, I use speech marks. This means I will take my daughter on holiday today. This sentence was said by Fatima. So, I am going to report what Fatima said. I say, Fatima said that. Of course, it is better to use that in formal English. It is better to use that in formal English. If English is informal, you can delete that. But I am giving you formal English, so you have to say, Fatima said that she. So I change I into she. I is a personal pronoun. I change it into she. Will take, I change it into would take. Again, why I make it past? Why will? I make it would. Would is past. Why? Because someone says something, and I explained this before, at 10 o'clock. I do the reporting at 12 o'clock or maybe next day. It means 10 o'clock is past, 12 o'clock is present. So she would take my, I change it into her, daughter, I leave it as it is. Today, I change it into that day. Today is used with the present. That day is used with the past. So if you look, I've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I've got 7 changes I have to make. And if you remember from reported speech, part 1, I said in reported speech or indirect speech, we make or we must make grammatical changes. So what do I do? What are the changes which I have to make in reported speech? A, we use said and that. Of course, that is optional. It means I can use it if it is formal English. If it is informal English, I don't use that. So that, it is better to use it in formal English, and I repeat this again. We use said, which is the reporting verb. We delete the speech marks. So before I have speech marks, I delete them. After full stop, I have speech marks. These ones, I delete them. We change I into she. So I is a pronoun, we change it into she. We change will take into would take. I change the tense. We change my into his, possessive adjective. We change today into that day, which is time, because today is time. I change it into that day. And again, if you look at number G, if Muhammad said, I live here, this is a different sentence, but I have to add it. I have to give you the full explanation. Muhammad, I live here. Muhammad said that he lived there. So I change here into there. Of course, I change Muhammad into he. I change live into lived. So live is present, I make it past. Here, I change it into there. That is optional. I explained this before, and we use said. So, what changes do we make in reported speech? I use said. I use that. I change pronouns. I change tense. I change possessive adjectives. I change time, and I change place. Of course, I put 7, but you can say 8. You can put, for example, like if you put this one here like this, so that is, I can say like that. If you want, we use that. So now we have got, so we use said, this is one, we use that, we did the speech marks, we change pronouns, we change tense, we change possessive adjectives, we change time, we change place. So A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. We make 8 grammatical changes in reported speech. we make 8 grammatical changes in reported speech. But of course we have exceptions, which means things which are different from the grammatical rule. This is the general rule, but if you watch part 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., I'll put so many parts on reported speech. If you watch them, you will see the exceptions and different ways of using reported speech. But remember, when we use reported speech, we make 8 grammatical changes most of the time. 90% we make these grammatical changes. So we can say, this is important, Muhammad told me that he lived there. So Muhammad says to me, I live here. I'm going to report what Muhammad said. I can say Muhammad said that he lived there, or Muhammad told me that he lived there. So here I use said that, I use said that, and here I use told me that. And I explained in part 1, we have different reporting verbs. The important thing in reported speech is, number 1, think about meaning. When you are reporting anything, think about meaning. And number 2, think about the 8 changes or the 8 grammatical changes we have to make in reported speech. You can say Muhammad asserted that he lived there. Asserted means say something with emphasis, with force, with emphasis. Muhammad asserted that he lived there. Now this is the end of the video. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for watching. Please watch it again and again and again, and don't forget to click on subscribe if you want to watch more videos in future. Thank you.